After 17 days in the Delphi trial, the jury now will go to the deliberation room to render a verdict. Will it be guilty or not guilty?
Closing arguments in the Delphi murders trial set to begin. The jurors have now heard all the evidence and the defense rested their case on Wednesday.
Now we're also going to hear the jury instructions in this case against Richard Allen. Again, the man accused of killing Abby Williams and Libby German.
In court, all of the evidence has now been presented to the 12 jurors and 3 alternates here in Carroll County, and we are inching toward the final days of this trial here.
Prosecutor Nicholas McLeland goes first. He's got 2.5 hours to make his case. He will say, one, you've heard from Richard Allen, the horse's mouth, in those phone calls from prison to his wife saying, I did it, I killed Abby and Libby, plus he told that to a prison psychiatrist. 2, we've got a bullet that we found at the crime scene. We tested it in the State Police Crime Lab. That proves that bullet came from Richard Allen's gun. It matches a gun that is in his house. It matches other bullets we found in that house. 3, Richard Allen knew something that only the killer would know, that there was a white van driving nearby, and he says it interrupted him during his attempted assault on the girls. There was testimony from a man who lives on a nearby road who said, yes, I would have been driving a white van up that road at that time. 4, we've got a photograph of what looks like Richard Allen's car, which would have been parked nearby the crime scene. Of course, Richard Allen admitted, yeah, I was up there walking near the Monon High Bridge that day. That's the prosecution. The defense, they also have 2.5 hours. They get to use all of their time before we go to lunch, probably about 1 o'clock this afternoon. The defense is going to say you can't take Richard Allen's word for it. He was in solitary confinement. The state's prison psychologist diagnosed him as suffering from psychosis. And under psychosis and solitary confinement, you're going to say anything. And that's why you can't take his words at face value. They were also inconsistent. 2, there is no DNA linking Richard Allen to the crime scene, nor any DNA found at Richard Allen's house or in his car from the girls linking him to that. They're also going to take issue with that bullet comparison. They're going to say the conditions under which the state police made that comparison were not an apples to apples comparison. They were an apples to oranges comparison.
It's closing statements. We just heard from the prosecution, which was incredible. And then we heard from the defense, and they also did an outstanding job. It was McLeland for the prosecution, and for the defense, it was Rosie. Honestly, I'm going to be really, really honest and share with you guys where I would be if I was on the jury. And I mean, this is what it is. I really think this could go either way. And a lot of people keep asking me what the jury's thinking, The bottom line is I don't know what the jury's thinking, right?
Defense, we've had police testify on the stand, go, yeah, we made a mistake on that. Yeah, we dropped the ball on that. Yeah, we didn't have the tapes, the videotapes have been erased on that. So you're going to wrap it up in a ball because what you're bargaining for, you're trying to get those jurors to believe there's a reasonable doubt that Richard Allen did not commit this crime. What we do is the judge reads those final instructions, gives it to the jurors. The bailiff is sworn in. He takes the jurors back to the jury room where they begin their deliberations. The deliberations begin with usually the picking of a foreman of that jury. Occasionally there will be a straw poll taken to find out the temperature of the room. Where does everybody stand? Then the jurors start going through, usually in a chronological order, from the first witness on through, what they heard, what did you hear, what seems to not fit, what does fit, and then that's how we progress. I expect this is going to be a long deliberation.
I was just about to ask, when do you expect the verdict, in your opinion, to come in?
I don't think it'll come in today. I think it'll come in tomorrow.
Delphi murders trial is coming to a close. The defense resting their case today after trying to raise reasonable doubt that the suspect, Richard Allen, killed the teens, Abby Williams and Libby German.
It took 17 days of testimony for jurors to finally hear Judge Francis Gall say, ladies and gentlemen, you've now heard all the evidence in this case. That didn't happen before we heard from a few final witnesses earlier today.
It was of Richard Allen getting medical treatment inside the prison, and the defense told us that video was taken on the same day that Richard Allen met with this witness, Dr. Martin, June 20th, 2023. In the video, Allen was restrained. He was sitting in a chair in the middle of this room. He looked dazed and out of psychosis within that 24-hour period, to which Dr. Martin responded, yes. So this final witness, these final moments of testimony in this entire case, not exactly the home run the state was looking for.
It's also important to point out Richard Allen did not take the witness stand in his own defense. Jurors will be reminded that he is not required to do that and that they cannot hold that against him.
It's in the jury's hands now. It doesn't matter what we think. It doesn't matter what we speculate on. It's a matter of what they come up with. And we will find out sooner than later. I believe that by Friday, by tomorrow, we should have a verdict. That's my opinion. We'll see what happens. Thanks for tuning in.